Next up, we have got the team from Chargeflow, represented by Dove Karp. I will bring you on stage, Dove, and let you take over from here and introduce yourself to the audience.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thanks very much.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. It is absolutely a pleasure to be here. And I just wanted to jump in and I wanted to speak about the chargeback challenges that D2C brands are facing. Ultimately, many D2C brands completely underestimate chargebacks and the hit to your company. You don't understand how much it's hurting your profit margins and potentially operational efficiency, and it could be a big hit to your long-term sustainability. So what does that mean? It means it's kind of like you have a leaky faucet, right? The other day, I got a bill from the water company that said like we owed like an additional $1,000, and I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? And what I realized is that we had a leaky faucet, and that leaky faucet over time had a big impact on our finances. And ultimately, this is what's happening to your company as well. You also don't understand that when you have a chargeback, there are multiple fees that are associated with it. And there's also a lot of time that you're putting into it that you don't realize, and it's taking away from your overall operational efficiency. So what's going on with these chargebacks? So consumers can dispute charges with really just a few clicks. It's really easy to file a dispute. Oftentimes, you can kind of just go into your app and just say, I didn't approve this charge. I want to do a chargeback, and it's a convenient refund method. Sometimes people are like, I rather not talk to customer success or customer service. I just want my money back. Don't try to convince me to keep the product or whatever. Give me my money back. So it's a convenient refund method, and at the end of the day, it's difficult for merchants to win because the entire chargeback system kind of is set up in a way that is against merchants. Number one, the issuing bank, which is the cardholder's bank, and the person who's filing the dispute are also the judges in the case. So you have to have incredibly compelling evidence that goes above and beyond for the issuing bank of the credit card holder to basically say, you know what, I'm going to give this in the merchant's way as opposed to the card holder. At the end of the day, your chargebacks potentially are going to increase over time because you can become an easy target. People are noticing that, hey, this brand, they're not fighting the dispute or they're not winning. I'm just going to keep on doing more and more disputes. Additionally, if you are scaling and you're making more money, well, your chargebacks are going to go up too, and that's kind of just par for the course. With a high chargeback ratio, however, you might get higher processing fees and potentially your account could be suspended. And that's something that you don't want to do. I'm speaking with a lot of our potential clients on calls, and I'll ask them, did you ever get any notification from your payment processor or any remediation programs or dispute monitoring programs? And they're like, yeah, it's actually ridiculous. Like they're withholding 10, 20, 30, $50,000. And some of them just shut down the accounts if it gets too high. And many payment processors, they don't even really tell you like why they're doing it. They don't have any clear guidelines. If I hit above a certain thing, they might just say, you know what, we're going to suspend the account, and it's a big problem. And ultimately, this can lead to, once again, additional headaches, operational headaches, and you're going to have to now devote more resources to that, and that's going to get in the way of you being a successful business. So what happens when the consumers exploit the system? The biggest way that they exploit it is through friendly fraud. Now, we all know about real fraud. Somebody steals your credit card, game over. What are you going to do? They made a purchase. You got to cancel it. It's a big pain. But what happens in friendly fraud? Now, friendly fraud is a real transaction. It's really the person. They're actually using their credit card. So any potential fraud monitoring tools or whatever you're using are not going to be picking this up because it is the real person. However, there are two types of friendly fraud. One is malicious, and then the other one is accidental. So malicious friendly fraud is somebody who's actually trying to steal from you. It's like they walk into your clothing shop, they take a sweater or something, and then they run out. That's basically what they're doing digitally. They're trying to steal from you. However, there's also accidental friendly fraud. And accidental friendly fraud is like somebody made a purchase with like a kid made a purchase with their parents' card, or they didn't recognize the charge because they went to the auto body shop and they got the new tires or something like that. But then they saw on the billing statement it said Frank's Pizza. Well, Frank had a pizza place and then he changed it to an auto body shop. And at the end of the day, he decided, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still a business. People are going to dispute those charges, and it can be a big problem. So almost 90% of chargebacks are friendly fraud, which is crazy, and this can potentially lead to an additional abuse when it comes to chargebacks. It's going to lead to revenue loss, and ultimately can damage your brand reputation. What we noticed from a recent survey was that 23% of consumers will file a chargeback immediately if they're dissatisfied with the purchase. 38% of them expect a customer service response within 1 to 3 days. And of those, 52% are going to file a chargeback if it's not responded quick enough. And some of the contributing factors are, a delay in communication, as we said. Maybe there's a lack of clarity within their terms, or ultimately buyer's remorse. My son, who's 10 years old, bought something the other day and he was really upset. He's like, "Can I get my money back on a return?" I was like, "No, I don't think you can." And he was really upset. And I was like, "You know what you're feeling?" He's like, "What, Dad?" I was like, "It's called buyer's remorse. Welcome to the club." Additionally, so what steps can be taken by brands in order to kind of prevent this from the get-go? So number one, improve your customer service and communication. Make sure that it is very clear and very timely. Make sure you have clear refund and return policies. That's super important so people can do that on their own. Make sure you set expectations when it comes to describing the products and the shipping timelines. And ultimately, train your support teams, especially for peak seasons like holiday related challenges that might pop up. Um, some actions you can use in order to minimize chargebacks are, being proactive with your customer service. Make sure that you're in communication with them. As I said, simplify the return and support channels, and potentially add some tools like a chargeback management tool, Chargeflow, fraud protection, which we're involved with as well. And you want to make sure that your policies are really transparent. It sits right there, and do your best to build trust with your customers. Um, when you have a relationship with the customer, ultimately it's going to lower the likelihood of them giving a chargeback or filing a chargeback. And at the end of the day, make sure you address friendly fraud with certain tools that are out there. Um, Look, I'm really excited and happy that I was able to present today. You can reach out to Chargeflow at chargeflow.io for any questions that you might have. We automate your chargeback management and prevention, help you increase win rates, save time and frustration, and feel free to reach out to me, Dove Carp. You can find me on LinkedIn or social or wherever it may be. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job, Doug. That was awesome and pretty interesting to learn. I didn't know the extent of friendly fraud, so that was fascinating. Appreciate you
Yeah, it's
taking us
pretty
through it.
crazy.
Yeah, and
You
I
got it.
do see a ton of questions for you in the chat there, so I'll let you jump off stage and get to responding to some of the audience, but we appreciate the time again.
You got it.